The New Living Translation, it reads like this. Then he asked them, but who do you say I am? Chapter 16, verse 15. Chapter 16, verse 15. Then he asked them, who do you say I am? Verse 16. Simon Peter answered, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Jesus replied, you are blessed, Simon, son of John, because my Father in heaven has revealed to you. You did not learn this from any human being. Verse 18. Now I say to you that you are Peter, which means rock, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the powers of hell, will not conquer it. Hear me, Great Awakening Church, on the last Sunday of our anniversary, and the gates and the powers of hell will not conquer it. And I will give you the keys. Somebody say, I got the keys.
I got the keys.
Y'all not talking. I say, somebody say, I got the keys.
I got the keys.
You got the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you forbid on earth, watch it, will be forbidden in heaven. Right. And whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven. I'll stop right there. Do me a favor and turn to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor.
Hey neighbor.
Prophet's about to preach the Jesus Church. Now do me one more favor. Find somebody way across the room and say, hey neighbor.
Hey neighbor.
I'm about to talk about the Jesus Church. On our fourth Sunday in our anniversary, I wanted someone else to speak, but they weren't able to make it, and so I think I'm a good fill-in on today. And I wanted to really announce to us that we have to now become a Jesus church. We have to now become the church that we see in the Bible. It's good that we've survived these now 2 years, but as we embark now on month 25, as we embark now on a new journey, as we embark now on the next that God has for us, we're no longer just taking baby steps, oh God. We're no longer just crawling, but now we're coming into who he has called us to be. Let me talk it out real loud. We're coming now into a time of identity. Y'all not talking to me. He's now identifying who we are, what we are, and we're now taking a shape and a form. We are now becoming the church that God has designed for us to be in the place that he has designed us to be in. Thank you. And so what happens is we have to now understand that there has already been a blueprint for our lives. There already has been a blueprint for our church. And so we have to now become the Jesus Church. I know the name of our church is the Great Awakening Church, but we have to also make sure that we are the Jesus Church. In our text today, I'll be short, but in our text today, we've noticed that he says some very unique things. He says, whom do men say that I am? But then as we opened our text today, he takes the focus off what other people are saying that he is. And he says, now, Peter, I need you to answer the question, who am I? Who has the Father revealed that I am in your life? Oh God, I know this ain't in my notes, but it's good preaching. Whenever you join a church, whenever you're a part of the church, you need to now ask the Father, who is that man preaching to me? Is that my Father? Is that my leader? Is that my Moses? Is that my Joshua? Because if you do not have the correct understanding, oh God, of who the leader is, then you will not go in the right direction. You will not go in the right trajectory for your life if you don't understand who you're following, oh God. Y'all looking at me like I'm in a museum, but it's all right. I'm going to push on through. And so what happens is when you don't know who you're following, you don't understand why the attack is so hard, oh God. You're not following just a regular evangelist. You're not following just a pastor, but you're following a prophet. And so you deal with things on a different dimension because now you have to deal with prophetic warfare, oh God. When you deal with prophetic warfare, the enemy tries to play with your mind. When you deal with prophetic warfare, the enemy tries to deal with your resources, because every time, oh God, your resources and your mind is attacked, then you can't properly see what God is going to do. Oh man, I wish y'all had some help in this house. And so what the enemy comes to do is he puts his hand hand in your pocket because he believes that when his hand is in your pocket, you will no longer follow the leader. Oh God, I wish you would find somebody from Great Awakening Church and say, follow the leader.
Follow the leader.
And so we see here in the text, he says to Peter, Peter, I need you now to operate in the realm, point number 1, of revelation. The Jesus Church has revelation of who he is. And so you have to now no longer understand Jesus from what others say. I don't care if he was black or white. I have a personal relationship with him, and I understand him based on my relationship, oh God. I understand that he might not have told you to do it, but he gave me the clearance to go ahead and do it. He might not have told you to start the church. He might have not told you to write the book, but he gave me permission, God. And so I have a revelation of who he is. And so this one, when we talk about the revelation of Jesus, it's something that has been revealed. It's something that has been uncovered. Yes, God. Something that has been uncovered. Somebody say uncovered. Yes, something that has been uncovered. And when we talk about this, I need now, if I'm going to go into deeper dimensions, if I'm going to grow the church, if I'm going to grow with the church, I must now understand who Jesus is through revelation.
Yes.
Oh God, I need to begin to understand who he is through revelation, because if I do not understand him through revelation, then someone else can skew my perception. Somebody else can make me think that he's not going to do what he said, oh God. But when I know him through revelation, it's been uncovered to me that God is not a man that he should lie, oh God, and not the son of man that he should repent. It's been uncovered to me that he's the way in the middle of a hard time. He's the way in the middle of my frustration. He's a way in the middle of me wanting to quit. He will make a way because it has been uncovered to me. You must begin to now, if you're going to grow with this church, understand who he is. He is not Santa Claus. He's not just giving you what you asked for. He's not making a list and checking it twice. But he's asking you now to line up with his word. And if you don't see him moving in your life, it's because you are too far away from his word. I know it's a tough one today, but we're going to get through this one together. And so what happens is I don't see the results that I desire because we have not turned into what he is looking for. We must begin to now have a revelation of who he is. Some of us will only see him as a Jewish rabbi, but when you have revelation of who he is, then what begins to happen now is I see him as master. I see him as Lord. See, this is why churches debate on whether or not Jesus is God, because they don't have the revelation of who he is. It has to be revealed to you to see and to understand that Jesus is God. You don't just get that reading the book, but you have to begin to now allow what he speaks and what he says to be uncovered in your spirit. And if we're going to be a Jesus church, we must now walk into revelation. It has to now be revealed to us what it is that he wants us to say, what it is that he wants us to do, and where it is that he wants us to go. Somebody say revelation. And so in knowing him, he reveals himself to you. He reveals himself not through words, watch it, but through experiences. The Jesus church, the Great Awakening Church, we must now understand that what God will do is he will take us now on a journey, and he will walk with us and bring us through now experiences. Oh, y'all don't see it, so let me help you. The bad relationship was an experience. Y'all don't see it. The last church, it was an experience. I know that they walked out, they cussed you out, and they forgot about you, but it was an experience. And so what God does is he says, I'm not afraid of the experience, so I'm not going to take you around the experience, but I'm going to take you through the experience, and I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Revelation is built. Yes, God, I feel you today. Revelation is built through experience. The only way that Peter could understand who Jesus was is because he began to walk with Jesus. Yeah. This is why some people who don't know who Jesus is, that's why the Muslims don't really know who Jesus is, because they have not walked with him. But when you begin to walk with Jesus, you begin to now experience him in another way. I know that Jesus loves me, not because the Bible tells me so, but because I've walked with him. I have experience with him. If you read my resume with God, you can tell that I've been through some things, but I came out all right. And so we see here that the Jesus church is a church with revelation, and revelation comes through experience, and then experience now builds relationship. I know I'm giving you a lot on today, but we have now revelation. Revelation comes through experience. Experience is is now birthing my relationship with God. I have a relationship with God because I have now been through some things with God. I have a relationship with God because he revealed to me who he was. I took on the journey with him, and as I took on the journey with him, I begin to now say, God, I love you, and then I heard him say it back. I begin to say, God, I'll serve you, and he said it back in. We don't understand that when you get into a deep relationship with God, we don't just serve God, but God will serve us.
Amen.
Yeah, and so it's through this that I see God even in the midst of my hardships, because my hardships are revealing to me who God can be in my life. If I did not have any mountains, that's the way the old people said it, then I did not know that Jesus would help me climb them. But I'm moving to point number 2, and point number 2 is that Jesus Church, Great Awakening Church, must be a rock church. Oh God. And so when you understand this, he says, Peter, on this rock I will build my church. What was the rock? I hear you, Brianna. Let me help you out. The rock was revelation. It was not so much Peter, like the Catholic Church teaches. He did not build the church on Peter, but he built the church on what God spoke through Peter. Oh God, that's revelation. And so we have to now have revelation, but we must build upon that revelation. Is that making sense to anybody in here? We must begin to build on the revelation. We cannot take prophetic words and just sit here. That's why I sent one out in church chat, because we cannot just take prophetic words and sit here and do nothing, but we must begin to align our lives with what God said and what God is saying. Oh God, y'all sleep today. Wake up your neighbor and say, we have to be a rock. We have to be a rock. Yeah, and being a rock, I understood 3 things about a rock. A rock is strong, a rock is firm, and a rock is steady. Let me say it again for the people in the back. A rock is strong. You got to be strong if you're going to be part of Great Awakening Church, because we're building on us. We're building this church on our backs. We're building this move of God on our backs, and you have to now be strong. Only the strong will survive. Yeah, right. But not only can I be strong, y'all waking up now, but I gotta be firm. I cannot be moved every time somebody don't talk to me. I cannot be moved every time somebody don't say hi to me. I cannot be moved every time somebody didn't invite me out, but I have to now be firm. I have to now be in place. I cannot let anything take me out of place, but strong, firm. And then I have to be steady. I noticed with a rock that if you push it, it'll move, but then it'll get right back. They call it rock steady. It'll get right back into its position. And I want to prophesy to 2 of you, even though the enemy pushed you, God is putting you right back in your place. Yeah. And so some of you, I know you thought it was over and the enemy did too, but God said that push was just to put you back in place. God, I gotta go. And so we aren't, hear me, Great Awakening Church, we are not a gathering. I know I used to hold something called the Greater Gathering, but that's not what we are. We're not a hangout and we're not a nightclub, but we are a church. And I'll say it loud so the Innovation Center can hear us, but we are a church. And so when you want to see miracles, signs, and wonders, you can find them here because we are a church. When you're looking for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, you can find him here. Why? Because we are a church. We might not have games, we might not have smoke machines, but we are the church in the earth. Point number 3, and I'm done, is we have now the rock, but we have to understand that Jesus is the builder. Let me let me help you out with this level of teaching here, because a lot of times we begin to think that we are the ones building, but we are not. And so this is why Christ has fashioned his life in such a way, because first he says, I'm going to be a carpenter to show you that even naturally I know how to build things, and then spiritually he says here, I'm going to build my church. Jesus is the one who is going to build this church. I know that we've been trying some advertisements. I know we've been trying to pass out some flyers, but the truth of the matter is Jesus is the one that's going to build this church. Yeah, that doesn't mean we're going to stop evangelizing. That does not mean we're going to stop giving out cards, but we have to understand that getting to the next place in God, Jesus is the one that has to build it. And so when we understand that we can't build the church and we can't build the kingdom, then what we do is we stay in place and allow God to build it on top of us.
Yes.
We allow God to build whatever it is that he wants to do in us. So we let him build our prayer life. Y'all not talking to me. We let him build our praise life. We let him build our relationship. We let him build our understanding of his word, because we understand that Christ is building something. Yeah, Jesus is the builder. And so since we understand we can't do it because we don't know what material, God, to use. We don't know how to set everything up. So Jesus must begin to do it. And a big part of Jesus doing it is we have to obey the instructions. Oh God, I took up carpentry. My mother's right there. She'll tell you it's the truth. I took up carpentry in high school, and I learned that the first steps of me learning was I had to listen. Y'all missed it, so I'll say it again. The first steps of me learning was me listening. I had to listen to the instructions of my teacher so that I could begin to now do what my teacher did. Y'all missed me? Let me come on around here. And so he says, greater works will you do, but if you don't listen, then you'll never learn on how to do what it is that Christ is doing. We have not seen the miracles because we have not listened long enough so for that faith to be built in us, so that we can operate in what it is that he's showing us. He showed you a problem because you're the one to meet the need. He showed you a way that needed to be made because you're the one to build it. And so we get to this place of understanding that Christ is the builder. If anyone else builds, the Bible says it this way: they build in vain. Point number 4, my closing point. But the church has the key. The church has the key. We often talk about the church in a negative way, but the only way that God is going to release keys into the earth is through the church. The church is now the center of the kingdom. The church is now the capital of the kingdom. Just like Hartford is the capital of Connecticut, the church is the capital of the kingdom. And so when you need direction, you got to run to the church. And when you need help, you got to run to the church. And when you need assistance, you got to run to the church, because the church is the capital of the kingdom. And so in the church, what God gives, he gives revelation. He gives, in other words, keys. He gives you these keys, and these keys begin to unlock kingdom, watch it, in your life. The kingdom, here it is the highest order of interaction. So we have the Supreme Court in the natural, but even if there was a branch above the Supreme Court in the spirit, that would be known as the kingdom. And there is really only one main kingdom, and that's the kingdom of heaven. There is an imposter kingdom, but we don't talk about that. And so the kingdom of heaven is where God legislates laws. Y'all don't hear me in here. At this level of kingdom, this is where God begins to now make interactions. This is where the laws of the earth begin to happen, and the kingdom realm of God. And so what happens is, when he created gravity, he did it in the kingdom, and the earth had to begin to obey. When he created breath, he did it in the kingdom, and then the world had to obey. And so we have to begin now to see that God is doing it in the kingdom, the highest level of the order of God. And so at the kingdom level, God makes, now hear me, decisions. God, even now as I'm preaching, is making decisions about each and every one of us in this room, and he's doing it at the kingdom level. Mind you, though, the text here, and I'm done, it says that he gives you the keys to the kingdom, so you have the ability to access the decisions of God. Okay. Y'all missed it. At the highest level that God operates, you have the ability to access it. Keys give you access. This door was locked, but somebody had the key to open it. And whenever you open it, now you have access to a new arena, a new area, a new space. Y'all missed it. I said, whenever you have a key, you have now access. You have the ability to unlock what was locked. Oh God. And so when you understand that I now have the keys to the kingdom, I can unlock kingdom in my life. Okay, let me give you an example. And so if I got sickness in my body, I have a key that can unlock kingdom health. Oh God. Yeah, the kingdom. So before I get ahead of myself, let me help you out real good right here. Every realm has dimensions, right? And then every dimension has levels, and every level has platforms. Every platform, watch it, is accessed by doors, and every door is opened by a key. Okay. Let me try it one more time. And so we have dimensions. Dimensions is made up of levels. Levels. Once you get there, you see platforms, and then once you get to the right platform, you'll notice that there's a door. The door, you can't just speak to this door. I had to learn this the hard way because I was prophesying to the door. But no, I have to now find the key that God gave me to unlock the door. Y'all okay? Y'all with me? Okay. And so when I unlock the door, now I have access to the next place in God, the next place of what He's telling me to do and where He's telling me to go. So here it is. I have the keys to my healing because He's given me now the keys of the kingdom. I have now the keys to my success. I have the keys to my joy. I have the keys to my family. I have the keys to the presence of God. I have the keys to economics. I have the keys to entrepreneurship. I have the keys to mental disorders. I have the key, and whatever I allow on earth will be allowed, and whatever I disallow in earth will be disallowed in heaven. I have to understand now that I have the ability to lock some things up. I have the ability to unlock some things. I have the ability to allow some things to be. I have the ability to stop some things. I have the ability to bring some things into fruition. I have the ability to loose some things. I have the ability to forbid some things. I have the ability to unblock some things. I have the ability to open some things. I have the ability to close some things. I have the ability to start some things. I have the ability to finish some things. I got the keys. Y'all don't even understand what God just said. But if He gave you the keys, He's talking to every person in this room. You have to understand now that you have the keys to the kingdom. And I don't know what you need, but I dare you to begin to now call in the key. Hey, I dare you to begin to call in the key. All you need is the right key. I said all you need is the right key. You don't have a money issue, you got a key issue. You don't have a disorder, you just don't have the key. And so y'all know I'm a prophet, and prophets reveal who Jesus is. And so here in my closing, I want to let you know that Jesus is the key. He is the key for every situation. And so when He says, I'm giving you the keys, what I'm actually doing, or what He's actually doing, is He's giving you now Himself. And when you walk in there, and I know they said that you have a disorder, you say, no, I got the key. I don't have a disorder, but I have the key. And so my key is going to begin to unlock whatever I need to get over and beyond this. I got the key for every system. I got the key for every mountain. I got the key for every arena. I got the key for every neighborhood. I got the key for every science. I got the key for every relationship. I got the key for every religion. And His name is Jesus. I got the key. If you believe God is going to release the key that you need, I know some of us don't need all the keys. We just need that one key. Because it seems like one thing has been blocking us. It seems like one area has just been out of whack. I want you to lift your hands and open up your mouth and bless God until you feel the key come down. Key. Is this area in my life that I need to conquer, but I need the right key? There's somewhere you told me I'll be able to go, but God, the door is locked. I need the key. I need the key for a better relationship. Yeah. I need the key to happiness. I need the key to miracles. I'm sick of seeing sick people. I need the right key. Come on, open up your mouth right here. Come on, open up your mouth right here. I need the key. The key of my deliverance. I need the key. The key to my best-selling book. I need the key. Lord told me to prophesy. My soul. And I prophetically declare and I prophetically release to those that will receive it tonight. I release keys to new inventions. I release the keys to strategic prophetic prayers. I release the keys to private victories. I release the keys to apostolic enterprises. I release the keys to academic advancement. I release the keys to wisdom and knowledge. I release the keys to wealth transfers. I release the key of quantum progress. I release the key to new networks. I release the key to cutting edge spiritual technology. I release the key to advanced spiritual weaponry. I release the key to the anointing to win souls. I release the key right now. Hey. The keys are falling. I prophesy. The keys are falling. The keys are falling. Hey. I got the keys. I got the keys. I got the keys. Hell can't conquer me because I got the keys. When Jesus rose, he picked up some keys to death, hell, and the grave. I don't gotta worry about death anymore. I don't have to worry about the grave anymore. Jesus got that covered. And now he's giving me the keys to conquer this world, to conquer this earth. There's some things that I'm gonna set in motion. There's some things I'm gonna set in motion. There's some things that I'm going to establish because today I received the revelation. Today I received the key. Today God is establishing it. Today God is building it. Today God is doing it because he's giving me the key. I've got the key. I dare you to declare it. I got the key. Hey, I got the key. I got the key. Hey, I receive the key. No matter who comes after me and tries to lock the door, I got the key to the kingdom. And so now I have the key to kingdom relationships, kingdom networks, kingdom finances, kingdom wisdom, kingdom. I got the keys. This door is emotion activated. It's a kingdom key that allows you access. When you really receive this word in your spirit, you will realize you have access now. Things that were cut off, things that were roped off, things that were stuck. I have the key to create mobility. I've got the key. I've got the key to unlock heaven on earth. I've got the key. Watch it. When you get this revelation, when you get this level of understanding, when you really become a part of a Jesus church, what you bind, watch it, on earth is now bound in heaven. New Living Translation. What I forbid on earth. See, you thought it worked the other way around. You thought it came from heaven to earth. Whatever I stop on earth will be stopped in the heavens. It starts with me. It starts here. In a moment like this. For the last 30 seconds. I need you to go for broke with your hands lifted. Without me coaching you, I need you just to give it all to God right here. Come on, I need you to give it all to God. Come on. push. That ain't it. That ain't what he asking for. Come on and push. This key will change your life, but you gotta push until he releases the key. You gotta offer him a praise that'll shake the heavens. Yeah, that's the prophetic sound. I got the key. This key represents new technologies. This key represents new ways and new systems. This key represents new wisdom. I've got the key. Come on. Thank you, Jesus. I might not be worthy of it, but you chose me. Hey. And I thank you for choosing me for the key. Help me to unlock, hey, everything that you assigned to my hand, hey God. Help me to unlock every person with potential in my life. Help me to unlock. I don't have a problem now, I got a key. Hey, 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 hey. I don't have a problem, I have a key. And this key will unlock kingdom resources. Hey, and this key will unlock kingdom wisdom. This will unlock kingdom excellence. Hey, 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 hey. Kingdom deliverance. The kingdom of God is